Good afternoon, Team Glow.
Hello.
So, Coach Maria here, guest speaker Kerry.
Hi.
Hi. Super excited to be doing this week's episode. I hope you all got a chance to listen to um, Angel. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I blanked on. I was about to
Angel and Anna's
Angel and
episode.
Anna. I was about to call her Ashley. Who is she? Um, Angel and Anna's episode. It was really amazing talking about, overcoming overwhelm and, just getting out of our heads when we get too deep in our heads. So, actually, our topic today kind of plays off of that and builds on it. We're going to talk a little bit about consistency and discipline. Personally, um, those two words usually rub me the wrong way. I'm naturally somebody that loves to do what I want to do whenever I want to do it. Don't tell me what to do. Definitely don't give me a schedule or a structure to stick to because I'm going to do what I want. So, with that being said, we'll get into that topic in a second. But first, hi, Kerry. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Kerry?
Who is Carrie? Okay, so first of all, I'm from a town called Marion, Arkansas. I'm not originally from Little Rock. I am 28. Kind of had to think about that for a second.
Dang, can't tell.
Thank you. So I went to nursing school. Um, a little bit about myself. I have a brother and a sister who live in the Marion area still, and I'm the only one who lives in the Little Rock area. I have 3 fur babies at home.
Cuties.
I am a part-time nurse still, and I have a boyfriend at home too. I own my own business. I own Happy's on Markham, right across from Planet Fitness, and I still do nursing on the side. Yeah, I love to work out. We do CrossFit all the time. I love that. Yeah,
Sometimes.
sometimes when we have time.
Sometimes we love it. That's what I meant.
Oh, sometimes we love it. Sometimes we
Tolerate.
tolerate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we just have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tell me about your fur babies because
My fur babies.
yes.
So the first one I had originally before I met my boyfriend Jeremy, and then the other 2 came with him whenever I met him. So they're 5, 6, and 7.
What are they?
Oh,
Do you
sorry.
have any cats?
Sorry, no,
Question.
they're dogs. They're all dogs. Got a little baby, Zoe, and then the medium-sized one, that's our Boy Scout, and then Coco's our big girl. She's we don't know what's going on with her, but we love her.
What do you mean?
Like, she probably has some issues, like some condition.
Oh no, like health issues?
Yeah.
Oh.
But we love her. It's fine.
Sweetie.
Okay. She's a sweet girl.
I love me some pups.
Yeah.
I did not know you had a brother and a sister still back at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, one of them is 6 years older than me, my brother, and then my sister's 8 years older than me.
Do you have any nieces and nephews?
Yes, I have a nephew who is 11 and a niece who is 15 now. Yeah,
A whole teenager.
a whole teenager. Yep, real sassy.
Do y'all get along?
Oh yeah, she loves me.
Oh, cool Aunt Carrie.
Yes.
My Aunt Carrie's a nurse and she owns her own business,
Yep.
y'all. So don't play.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So it sounds like you have a lot going on, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Tell me how your day kind of looks, because I feel like to do everything professionally and then also do everything you want to do personally, like we do work out together, CrossFit when we're able to, we do also work together a lot. And so only seen glimpses of both your personal life and your professional life, but what I've seen, girl, you running and gunning, you know?
Running and
Um,
gunning.
y'all, I picked Kerry to do this topic with me because, first of all, just to brag on her a little bit, because she literally would never brag on herself. Kerry is always on top of her game, whether it be, drinking our water out of our amazing Stanley cups. Y'all already know what it is. To having her tea every single day. Carrie's calendar, is always filled with work for herself, but also, she's helping others. Carrie is always working out. It's like, what time are we CrossFitting? It's not even a question of if, it's when. She's always eating good, healthy things, like I know that Carrie is very intentional with her day, right? So before we dive into consistency and discipline and, the journey to Carrie today, what does your day to day look like?
Whew, okay, so on a normal day, I'm waking up. Immediately, I'm chugging some water just so I can get some water in before I get caffeine in because, our bodies run on water, right? And I go to the club, open up my business with my boyfriend, who's also the business owner with me. I'm prepping all of my things for the morning before I head out the door. Make sure I have my, all of my micro and macro nutrients in my meals and all of my snacks that I need to pack with me, make sure I'm prepared. And then I go to the club, open up the club, and if I forget lunch or something like that, I'll go like grab a meal prep or something like that from Kroger just so I'm like not freaking out. Oh my gosh, what am I going to eat? And I really just have my day planned out pretty much for myself before the next day. So I know that I'm going to be prepared. So, like the night before, I will have my tablet box prepared, ready to go in my purse so I can just grab my stuff and run. And then, you know, I'll have like meetings with clients, make sure that they're good all day. Or if I like met someone new, I'll make sure that they're going to come in and they're prepared and I know exactly what I'm going to talk to them about, what products I'm going to go over with them, whatever that looks like, if they have health goals. And then, yeah, so, we do client appointments, meetings, all of that pretty much throughout the day while we're serving shakes and teas because that's what we do. And then, like in the afternoon, when it kind of dies down, I'll be setting appointments for the next day. And then I will plan out like my afternoon. So, I'm like, when are we going to go work out? Yeah.
That text message, yep.
Yes. And then we usually go work out, have a shake after just so we can like refuel our body and I already got my meals prepped. And then after that, I'll go home and then I'll continue the same exact things. It's just a process. I mean, I do the exact same things every single day, so I know that I'm going to be prepared for the next day. So, yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. What time do you wake up in the morning?
Oh, some days, okay, so if I'm at the hospital, I am a nurse part-time as well, so like that day looks completely different. Well, not completely different, just a little different
Mm-hmm.
than like a day at the nutrition club. Um so I'll wake up on a hospital day, I'll wake up at like 4 so I can have all of my stuff in my cooler, because I have to have all my meals and all my
Do you
things.
carry like the big, like, red lunch cooler?
No, it's my like bag, my huge bag with all my things in there, my clipboard, stethoscope, food, all the things.
Nurse Carrie!
And I'll take that with me. But yeah, my day looks just a tad different. I'm just not, with clients, I'm with patients. But
Mm-hmm.
like food wise and like prepping and all the things, it looks the exact same. So
Would you say it's more difficult to prep or be more consistent during a nurse day or during,
yes.
yeah?
Yes, because it's never the same. Obviously, every day is not the same, but if I'm at the hospital and something goes wrong with a patient or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, anything can go wrong at any moment. So I always want to make sure that I have something that I can just grab and go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So I'm like staying hydrated and staying consistent with my goals. But sometimes I don't, always get the chance to just sit down, eat my meal, have my 30-minute break, and just relax, right? So, so it's
Right.
fine. So I just bring anything and everything I can to make sure that I'm hitting my goals that day. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it does look a lot different than like a day like this.
Right, right.
So,
Do you still drink out of your Stanley?
yes, every day, all day.
Really?
Yeah, I'll be at my computer charting, and then it'll be right there, right next to me,
Oh.
and my tea, and my shake.
So I used to be that crazy person that when I was, set on my water goal before I was gifted my beautiful Stanley Cup by a friend. I was that person running around with like the $1.50 jug from
You
like
were.
Walmart, and like everyone's like real cute with their gym bag coming in and like doo, 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 doo. And here I come steamrolling in, looking like a gym rat that I am, but the gallon probably got some like chalk smeared on my bag somewhere from like lifting. Um, but I love it. I love hearing, everyone's process and how everyone's process is different, even though we have similar goals, no matter what we're doing throughout the day. Um, okay, so you mentioned you live with the boyfriend. Love
Mhm.
him. Um, how is it staying disciplined and consistent with, the things that you want to do, your eating, your water intake, your shakes and teas? You did mention that you guys work the club or have the club together. So, I'm sure that kind of, mixing of your schedule is easier than maybe somebody who doesn't work with their hubby or doesn't
Mhm.
work with their significant other. So
Yeah.
how is it doing that with another human being, whether be a boyfriend or children?
Yeah. I definitely have to like accommodate for his wants and needs, and like if he wants a certain meal, I'll have to make enough for him because he's like two people in one. He's like, "Oh, that's all the food you made for you, right?" I'm like, "Oh, no, this is for us." But okay, I'll make more. I'll definitely make more.
Uh-huh.
Cool, cool. So, I definitely have to, accommodate because he eats a lot.
Mhm.
So I'll just make my little meals and, his, right? But no, if I'm at the club and he's working with me at the club and we're just having like our normal day, he'll usually do meal preps just like me. And we usually eat the same things. Like I'm not a picky eater at all. I'll eat like, chicken, rice, all the things. But, it definitely is hard if I'm not prepared because if I'm not prepared, he's not prepared.
Mm.
Like if I'm making something, I'm going to make the food. It's going to be for all of us, and he's just going to have to eat it. That's what I made. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's different, if we're just not prepared that night, he'll just be like, "Okay, I'll just go pick up a meal prep from like Kroger or some of the meal prep places that we have in Little Rock." But I'm pretty much do the same exact thing if I'm at, the hospital. I'll give him his meals and then mine as well. So, yeah, there's really, nothing hard about it. He doesn't eat too unhealthy, thankfully. So I don't have to, say, okay, this is my food and this is yours. There's no temptation or anything like that. Um, whenever we're cooking, usually I'll cook pretty healthy things that we can both eat. And, if I'm sticking to my plan, so is he,
Mhm.
right? I don't have any hard, like, I'm pretty disciplined in the kitchen when it comes to like making my food. If I see an Oreo, I'm not gonna freak out, and be like, oh, oh, I have to have it, But yeah, we're both pretty disciplined, I think. So
Has it always been that way?
no,
Yeah.
it definitely took some time. I think what helped me the most is just deciding that I am in a business in a world that, you know, yes, you do have to be nice to yourself when it comes to what you eat and how you think about yourself and what you put in your body, right? So, like, of course, we're going to have some treats now and then. It's not like, I'm strictly eating spinach all the time, egg whites only. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, I would go crazy doing that.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
hard to just be that clean all the time, but
Mhm.
no, I don't want to give like too much of my story, but back in the day, there was an instance where I got very like strict with myself and I was like, okay, I can't have this and I can't have this. I can only eat spinach, egg whites, and one piece of bread a day, and that's it. So I think, it's really just about staying consistent and being nice to yourself and remembering that every day is a new day and we have to stick to, remembering what our goal is and why we're doing it and
Mhm.
not being too hard on yourself because
Mhm.
that just causes stress and that just hinders your results, I think.
Like doing it out of self-love.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, for
versus
sure.
like an
Or like a
obligation
punishment.
or a punishment. That is
Yes.
something that I really struggled with, before getting into, the industry that we're in. Um,
Yeah, so did I.
yeah, it was, it's hard. I think growing up, as women and, through our teenage years, early 20s, at least, my journey was, you had to look a certain way, be a certain way, oh, we're 20, 22, we're real cute, all these expectations that are like placed on us, um, that absolutely did affect, like my eating habits. And so, yeah, yeah, learning that switch, learning, discipline and consistency out of self love rather than a punishment. I
Mhm.
think one of my favorite things I've ever seen, and I have it on my Instagram, is just a quote that says, exercise should be a celebration of, being able to move your body
Mhm.
versus a punishment for what you ate. And honestly, I think about that every time we work out,
Yeah.
every time we do something ridiculous like a power clean or something. Like, I'm like,
Can't believe my body can do this.
yes, I think about that. And like, we don't have children yet, but I know already that I'm going to be completely amazed at whatever childbirth looks like for me,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it's just amazing. It's like, wow, I can't believe that I can do this,
Yeah.
So let's throw some weights around,
Yeah.
and let's go do it.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that actually really helps me find the joy in wanting to incorporate it into my daily life.
Mhm. Like working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So before, you kind of already mentioned it, and of course, I really only want you to share what you're comfortable with sharing, but what did Kerry look like? What did Kerry's day look like before she was disciplined, happily meal prepping, eating and exercising healthily? What did your day look like?
Okay. Health not you mean not healthy, Carrie.
So maybe, Carrie, before you had to teach yourself consistency and discipline, like, maybe tell us, when did it happen and why it happened? Because you mentioned a little bit that if you didn't have these like structures in place,
Mhm.
everything would be crazy.
Yes.
Yes.
So in my brain it feels crazy just because I thrive with structure and planning and having everything lined out for me.
Mm-hmm.
So like, whenever in college I would just wake up, go with the flow, go to class, pick up a sandwich, maybe go study, and then I was just going grocery shopping pretty much every day, just like throwing money out, and just not having a structure. And I didn't have a plan for my day ever. And I think that's what, like, you know, some of my anxiety stemmed from that just because like I never had a structure with my day. I never had a whole plan and I was just like I need to get something together so I can just feel in control
Mhm.
almost.
Mhm.
And then that stemmed into, having control and watching what I ate, and it became almost um, too controlling, almost like too obsessive. So that's when I went into like it was in my early 20s. That's weird to say because I'm 28 right now. But I was really young, 21ish. And it stemmed my anxiety stemmed from that, I think, because I was in college. I had just figured out like how to work out in the gym and not feel like anxious, and so I would write all my workouts down and it would be perfected, right? I would write all my meals down, those would be perfected. And I would like know exactly what I ate, how many carbs was in it, how many grams of protein, all the things. And I think that I just overdid it and it really made my anxiety worse because it turned into something unhealthy for myself because I was always worried about, oh my gosh, I have to eat this only and never have a piece of cheesecake or a piece of pizza. It's going to hinder my results, which is not true at all, ever. I don't want anyone to ever think that because it was just like a horrible way of talking to yourself and how you think about, you know, food in general. Horrible. Um, so eventually, I finally woke up and was like, that's not being nice to yourself. And, you can have food in moderation and still like reach your goals. And you can have things that taste good that will help you with your goals, which is, another part of my story, but we don't have to go into that. But yeah, I finally found like the right structure for myself. I was like, it doesn't have to be like concrete every single day. It's okay if you fall off a little bit, but like just make sure you have some type of plan, what you're going to eat every day and just have it written out the night before, but you don't have to go crazy and like obsess over it. So, yeah, I finally got to that point where I was like, it's okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
I know that there's a point for everybody.
Yeah.
I think for me, I just was tired of being. I I think you might have even seen like photos of me. I was, smoking cigarettes all the time, drinking 4 out of 7 nights of the week,
Mhm.
just living. I was in the service industry, so drinking, eating all kinds of crazy stuff. That was just the norm, like everyone's doing it, so it's okay, right? And it's like, no, smoking an entire pack of cigarettes going out one Saturday night is not healthy. I used to do that. And that's crazy to me to think about that. And I think what was the turning point was I just woke up one morning and I felt like trash and I had disgusting taste in my mouth and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, this is not it. Like this
Mm-mm.
is literally not it. And that's all I needed. That's all that happened.
Yeah, you just woke up and you're
I
like,
literally woke up one morning and was like, I'm done with this.
yeah,
So it's
good for
crazy.
you.
Yeah, it's crazy how everyone's like
Mm.
that moment is just different for everybody.
Yeah, the switch. Yeah.
Do you come from a family that is like fitnessy, health conscious? Because my family kind of is like this,
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, but like I do have memories going to the gym with my mom, my dad, hitting the weights. Actually, I have a membership at a gym in Conway that my parents used to go to when we were younger. It just kind of turned into a couple of gyms.
Mhm.
But the exact facility and the exact structure, it's always been a gym.
Yeah.
And I have a membership there, and I go there, and every time I go there, I walk around, and I'm like, this used to be the kids' room that me and my brother used to hang out in when we were like
Oh,
6.
that's so cute.
Yeah, it's weird.
That
I
is
mean,
weird.
it looks different, but I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's crazy how stuff comes full circle. But
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
I have those memories, and so that kind of groundwork was, laid for me. And so, anytime I do talk about, working out or like, I'll call my mom and she's like, I'm working out, let me call you back, or like, she'll come
Mama.
over. Yeah, she'll come over and open the fridge and it's not a big deal to see, the meal preps or
Yeah.
veggies
Yeah.
and no cheese or whatever we're doing at that
Yeah.
time. But I know for a lot of people that's not the case.
Yeah. So I grew up like, playing sports, all the
Mm-hmm.
things. I played all the sports growing up, even like not in high school, but just like elementary school and when I was younger. And so I was super active, and my parents wanted me to be super active all the time. They made sure of that. But I think, you know, I was never worried about how I looked necessarily when I was younger because I was always active. My parents were always going to the gym after school, and um, you know, I don't think any of my anxiety or, you know, how my journey happened stemmed from my childhood. I just think I was always active and I played sports. I think just one day I don't know, saw people that I wanted to look like, and I think that's what made me was like, oh, maybe I'm supposed to look like that. But, we're all different and we all have our own story and we all, carry weight differently and process things differently. So I think, I finally realized that when I was in my 20s and I was like, oh, okay, cool. But yes, my parents, they were always in the gym, always making sure I was happy, healthy, active. So, yeah.
Okay, that's nice. It's nice that you have like a support group
Yeah.
around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Not a lot of people have that,
Yeah.
available to them, and
Very thankful. Yeah.
yeah, I have friends that didn't grow up in such a supportive environment, so
Mhm.
even though they might mean well, um, their support looks differently, or at least it feels differently than how they intend it.
Yeah.
I get told all the time this and that and this, and it's just like, well, I'm not doing that. I'm doing this right now.
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes they really take it personally,
Yeah.
so that's just good.
Yeah.
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 I think we are getting close to our time. A couple things before we end today's session with Carrie. Um, One thing I did want to ask you is, what is one piece of advice you would give to everyone,
Mm.
coming from somebody who had to, just your journey, your growth into the person that you are right now, into, really leaning into structures and developing the discipline and seeing, the benefit that consistency and just staying positive throughout the process
Yeah.
has brought you. Like, what is one encouraging thing that you have for all of us?
One thing I think is to remember, where you started, obviously, because every day is a new day and you forget to look back at who you once were. And just remember where you're going. Don't look backwards, just look forwards and just keep going and be nice to yourself because you're going to look back and you're going to see, oh my gosh, like, can't believe that was me back then, no
Mm-hmm.
matter if it's mental, physical, spiritual, whatever. And just, be nice to yourself and stay positive because you're going to look up and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I've changed so much. So, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like, don't forget where you came from.
Yep.
Just don't forget your journey.
I think it makes you more thankful when you look back and you're like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, you're right. I did do that. I was like that, but now I'm so much better or I've come so far, and it helps you to be thankful for where you're at now."
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, then let's end it on that. We've been doing Glow for about 4 weeks now, right? This is our four
Yes,
week
week 4.
week four. We're
Yep.
about halfway through. I've been loving what we've all been doing. Excellent results, from everyone staying consistent, whether it's like new habits that they're, been learning, um, running on tracks that have been already laid down previously. But I think that would be a fun thing for all of you guys listening in today to just, just sit down, maybe journal about it.
Mhm.
I'm not a big journaler. I just love to kind of, think about it mentally, kind of meditate on it. But journal about it if that's for you. Shoot me a text.
Yeah, ask us
Yeah.
questions.
But maybe have a moment of reflection about how, this glow journey has been for you, where you started, maybe your mindset, maybe emotionally how you felt, starting glow, maybe a couple months ago, what led up to you deciding and, committing to doing this with us. I
Mhm.
think the months leading up to the decision to make the change are just as important,
Yeah,
and just as crucial
for sure.
to really think about.
Yeah.
That's where the transformation truly is happening,
Yeah.
emotionally, I
Yeah.
think, anyway.
It's a big step to start
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Um, and just kind of reflect about it. And if you feel, called or inclined to let us know, reach out to either one of us directly or just drop it in the glow chat. We'd love to hear from you, and just kind of how this journey has been for you so far. So
Yeah.
thanks for watching and thanks for
Thanks for
being here.
watching. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks for having
of
me.
course. Stay tuned to next week, you guys.